Boy Karl came down with a rare disease. Tumors had completely covered both of his hands. Faced with this condition, even the doctors had never seen anything like it before. After running a full battery of tests, they discovered that the tumors on Karl's hands were chondromas. As Karl grew older, the chondromas were spreading rapidly. The doctors had to be extremely careful during examinations because Karl's hands were highly susceptible to fractures. When the test results came back, the doctors found that the tumors were filled with cancer cells. The only option available was to completely remove all the tumors. As time went on, Karl's condition continued to worsen. Without prompt treatment, Karl was facing the possibility of amputation. The doctors gave Karl an honest assessment of his condition. After hearing the news, Karl asked only one question: whether he'd still be able to write with his hands after surgery. The doctors assured Karl that they would do everything in their power to save his hands. Shortly after the doctors began the operation, the operating room was staffed with over 20 doctors, who took turns removing the tumors. The doctors discovered that most of the bone tissue had been eroded, and couldn't find a single usable lunate bone. Left with no other choice, the doctors carefully continued their search. But just then, an assistant behind them picked up an amputation saw. The doctors immediately stopped her, and warned her that without the lead surgeon's permission, no one was to make decisions on their own. A few minutes later, the doctors finally found a usable lunate bone. Not only that, they also discovered 4 intact carpal bones, and metacarpal bones that had been hidden beneath the surface. The doctors were all thrilled at the discovery. The lead surgeon announced that Karl's hands had been saved. The observing doctors broke into applause. When the bandages were finally removed, Karl finally saw his own intact hand.